add
For
anywhere.
your reference, you can go through this session. Okay, but please don't
Okay.
share with others. Why? Because it's complicated. Why? Because
Yeah,
it's
agreed.
a
Like
live
all these
project
come
which
with
I'm
NDA.
working.
Yeah.
This is the live project which
Okay.
is I'm working on it. Okay. Okay. Uh, so we have two different workflows over here. One is purchase requisition review and purchase requisition line review. So what does this refers for? Okay. So let me show you. Uh, okay. So if I go to the all purchase requisition module, if I open any one PR, okay. So at here you can see when I say this is my workflow, it refers for my purchase requisition workflow, review workflow. When I say my purchase requisition line workflow, so at here a workflow symbol will be applied, like how the workflow is there. At here in the line level it will be updated, and so once you submit from here, initially it will go for the line level review first. Once the line level is completed, sorry, so once the line level is completed, then it will go back to the header level. So there will be a two workflows which will be interlinked inside one particular workflow. Okay, like for example now, let me make duplicate. Okay, like for example now, if I go back to the, so I already have logged in, I have already navigated to do procurement sourcing workflow. So instead of going over here module wise, I can simply navigate from recent tab. So in recent, you can see in which are the form I have entered, it will show over here. Okay, this is another way of easy navigation. Okay, so I have two different workflows. Okay, so I need to modify something in this workflow. So what I will do, I will click over here this particular id, so it will open a workflow design framework. Okay, so if you want to create new, you will click on new, and at here purchase requisition line review or purchase requisition review, and the workflow framework will be open. Okay, so in this case I need to modify in the existing workflow. Okay, so what I need to modify, so I will show you the information. Okay, so okay, so you can see there at here there is some workflow. For example, if it is a direct PO, it will go directly to the reviewer and next head of the approval matrix. If the PR PO process, the HOD department will of in the PR, and the same has point A. And if the PR RFQ PO process, the head of the department approval, and the same time the RFQ at the time of RFQ, and the PR only the buyer, and PO has point A. Okay, so these are the three things which he has said it. So what we need to do, so let me open first this workflow framework. Okay, so there is one more condition is there, like for example, if you are opening workflow in the Chrome, see currently I am logged in Chrome. If you open this particular Chrome workflow framework, it will not open. So any integrated additional suits which is for the, like for example workflow, there will be a management report. Okay, so these kind of designers will not support Chrome. You have to log in Edge. Microsoft is Edge is the standard by default you can utilize for using the to open any designer related to Microsoft. If you open in Chrome, it will not open. Like for example, if I'm clicking on this particular framework, okay, so this is the application which downloaded. You can see application cannot started. So this is the error which you will get it. Okay, so what I will do, let me, That here I have logged in Edge, Microsoft Edge. Now let me show you. Okay, so if I go to the procurement sourcing module, procurement sourcing workflow. So at here I will click on purchase requisition review, and a file will be downloaded, a designer file. Okay, so this is the application which you can see workflow edition host, and at here again you need to re-log in with your credentials. Okay, so once I have logged in, so this is how the design will look like. 1 minute will be open. Okay, so this is the design. Okay, it's very straightforward, it's very easy to create and design it. Okay, so at here as per this particular request, this particular training feedback request, so at here what we have received, for example, if it is a PR PO process, they will be head of the department in the PR workflow, and if it is PR RFQ PO process, only the head of the department of role in the RFQ. Okay, so this is the requirement which they have given it. So currently if you see, the workflow starts from here. Okay, and it's after starting it's going for the copy of RFQ true. So what this RFQ true, if I click on right button and if I click on properties, you can see if the RFQ is true. Okay, if the value is this is the condition. So what had here the condition we have kept it, the purchase requisition reason, okay, is RFQ PR. Then what will happen, it will go for the this particular step to create the RFQ. Okay, this is the reviewer step. So before explaining this one, so let me explain so what are the flows we can add it. So you can see under the flow control we have a condition, manual decision, parallel activity, sub workflow. Okay, so mostly you will use the parallel activity and conditional decision. Okay, these two, and other than that you will use the approval for approving it, and the reviewer. So these are the most commonly used for the workflow to create the design. Okay, like for example now you can see this is the conditional where it will go for the request for this one, and it will go for the reviewer. So currently they don't want this particular reviewer step, so I will delete this particular reviewer. Okay, so once I click on delete, you can see into marks in these three, two designer and one reviewer. So I will shift from here to, I will create a flow from here to go with this particular condition. So at here what I have done it, so once this is done, Okay, so once this condition, for condition they have two elements, either true or false. So at here what I am saying, if the business justification reason is RFQ PR, so it will trigger for the request for quotation. If it is no, then it will go for the next condition. Okay, so in the next condition also it was checking whether if it is a RFQ PR or not. If the RFQ PR is yes, so what it will do, it will it will skip this particular so if it is true, it will go for the budget check. Budget check is my approval step, so they will approve the particular budget check. If it is no, it will go for the parallel activity. So parallel activity, how it look like, let me show you. So if I click on this particular double click, so you can see in parallel activity there will be so many workflows which we can add it. Like for example, legal and compliance. So if I expand this legal and compliance, you can see there is a one step of approval. It will start and it will check based on the if department is legal and compliance. Okay, so like that I have created multiple parallel activity. So how does this parallel activity will work? I will show you. I will create one record and I will show you. So once the parallel activity is done, so it will be triggered to the budget check. If the budget check is not there, it will be assigned to respective person. If budget check is available, it will be ended. So this is the condition what we have kept for the RFQ. Okay, so if you see in this particular query, the third point and second point, the third point it state has if the PR RFQ process will be if it is a PR RFQ process, it will be HOD approval at the time of RFQ stage. Okay, so in this case, so at here we have given two conditions. Okay, the first condition what it was checking, if it is a RFQ, business justification reason is RFQ. Let me show you that. Like for example, if I am creating purchase requisition new, I will show you. Okay, so you can see over here reason, which is a mandatory field. Okay, so if I select justification, this reason has RFQ PR, and if I click on OK, so what it will do, so at here this particular reason it is RFQ PR, so it will go for the reviewer step. So the reviewer, what he will do, he will create the request for quotation, and once he has been completed, he or she has been completed the request for quotation, this step will be closed and it will flow from here to next condition. At here again my next condition what it is, it was the same. If it is RFQ PR, if it is true branch is this one, so it will go for the budget check. Okay, if it is false, so it will go for the head of the approval. Okay, and after that budget check and it will be ended. So why in false have kept head of the department? Okay, so the reason behind is as I have selected the business justification reason as RFQ PR. Okay, so what does this RFQ PR will do? So once as I said that we can create without RFQ, we can convert, and with RFQ also we can convert the PO. So when we will convert without RFQ, the PR to PO, when we will convert, like for example, if I know the vendor, I know the price details, so what he will do, the user will come over here and he will create new. Okay, and he will select the respective procurement category. Okay, and he will update the price information like quantity, unit price, price information, and he will select the respective vendor. So in this case, it's what it is happening, we know the price and we know the vendor. So in this case it's a direct PR to PO process, so there is no RFQ is required. Why? Because I know my vendor. Okay, For example, if I don't know the vendor, I need to participate in bid. So let me invite couple of vendors and let them bid it, and let me select on behalf of them anyone. So in that case, they will go for the RFQ. Okay. So once I save it, and as I have selected the vendor, okay. So I need to modify over here the business justification reason. The reason behind why I need to modify this business justification reason, when I know my vendor, so I will select as normal or urgent PR. If I don't know my vendor, so I will select as RFQ PR. Okay. So after updating it, so I have modified the business justification reason. So it was asking me to update to the line level also. So you will mark it as yes and you will click on OK. Okay. Now, as I modified the PR workflow, it will not affect immediately. The reason behind is I have just modified the workflow. I didn't saved it. Until I save and close, it will not affect to my workflow. Like for example, if I click on submit, it will take this it will not take this particular workflow hierarchy. Before that, whatever version is previously activated, it will take that particular version. Like for example, if I submit this one to the workflow, okay, I have submitted it. Okay, so this is the submission comment. So I'll click on OK. Okay, so if I go with the workflow history, okay, so at here you can see this is my workflow ID and this is my version. Okay, so current version is 10.0.0.0. Okay, now if I save and activate this particular version, the version will change. Let me show you that. So first I will click on save and close. So at here you can provide version note and details if you want. Then you will click on OK. Now you can see at here it was asking me to keep it previous version as activated, or you want to activate the new version as the workflow. So if you keep the version has activated 10.0.0.0, so what will happen? The changes what we have done, it will not be activated until we manually go and activate there. So if you keep activate the new version, so a new version will be created and it will be auto activated. Let me select as keep the previous version and I will show you how we can activate that. Okay, so I have clicked on OK. Now this particular framework will be closed. As we have modified the workflow, so it has been changed. Now if I go back to the procurement sourcing workflow, okay, now you can see this purchase requisition review is there, right? I will select this particular line and I will go to the versions from the manage. Now you can see 11.0.0 version has been created and you can see there is no tick mark. This tick mark indicates for the activation. Okay, so until you activate this particular tick mark, these workflow changes will not affect to the respective workflow. Like for example, if I click on activate, now it has been activated. Now the we have submitted, right? If so it will follow that particular workflow. So at here you can see it has come to me for approval. So a email will be triggered to respective users also. So that was the reason I said let me quickly activate this, otherwise they will test it. So they will receive an email through Power Automate. Let me show you that. You can see this is the email notification which is triggered from the environment to us. Okay, either you need to approve or reject or request change, he can approve it. Okay, so this is the email notification which we have configured. Okay, let me go to the workflow history. As we have modified in the RFQ stage, you can see currently it picks the standard PR, I mean RFQ PR, so non-RFQ PR. Now let me create another PR and I will show you where RFQ PR and how it will be triggered. Okay, so let me create new. Okay, so at here you can see I just added the PR line. Okay, this is the RFQ PR. So if I submit to the workflow, so I just clicked on submit. It has been submitted. Okay, now if I go to the workflow history, let me see. So this is the condition, like once we have submitted it, so it will go for the RFQ reviewer. Let me show you the condition. Okay, now you can see over here, I have submitted to the workflow. Okay, so this is the workflow, and you can see the first condition, copy RFQ PR is true. Okay, so when I modified the PR workflow, the first condition what we have kept, copy of RFQ PR is true. If it is true, it will assign to a reviewer step. Okay, now it has been true, and you can see it has been assigned to admin. And so why it has been assigned to admin? In reviewer, what I have done it, I have submitted, I have kept a step that whoever is creating PR and submitting to workflow, it will be reassigned to them to create request for quotation. Okay, for that purpose, I have created that particular review step. Okay, now he will come over here, he will click on request for quotation and he will select the legal entity lines and he will click on OK. Now you can see the request for quotation case number has been generated, and if you refresh this particular page, you can see the request for quotation. Okay, you may feel little bit confused as at here some custom fields are there, so but overall the process is same, but you will see some new things over here. That's the difference. Okay, so this is the request for quotation case. So at here what they will do, they will map the scoring criteria, so they can map the scoring criteria right now also or later once he got the reply. You can see at here one more field will be there, compare reply, which is disabled. Okay, so first I will go to the header of this particular request for quotation, and you can see it here we have allow question and questions option. So if you allow this particular as yes, allow vendor questions, so vendor can ask the question and you can give the cutoff date. Like for example, I'm giving cutoff date as 3rd. Okay, and you can see this is the request for quotation expiry date. So what does this request for quotation expiry date and as well as the cutoff date for date and time? So what is the difference between these two? So this expiration date and time is refers for the last date for submission of bidding. The vendor can participate until this particular date and time he can submit his bids. Okay, and this cutoff date is refers for, if for example if vendor have any respective questions, so he can raise up to this particular date and time, he can ask anything. After that he cannot ask any questions. Okay, that is the two difference over here, and he will provide in detail RFQ description. Like for example, I'm giving some random description over here. Okay, bidding guidance term is nothing but like for example, uh, like for example, when you are submitting any uh, let me give you some best example. Mhm. Okay, so have you applied any like for example, if you are engineering graduate, okay, when you have completed your plus two in the sense intermediate, so when you are applying the intermediate application, I mean MSET exam, you are writing it, right? So at the time of writing MSET exam, so you need to submit some prerequisite document, right? Like for example, your mark sheet need to be attached to the application while you are applying through online. Okay, you need to provide your scoring, your plus one and plus two score information, marks information. Okay, and you need to attach the photo. So these all are your requirements, which need to be applied for the MSET exam, right? I think is there any who completed MSET? I mean, who is recently passed out engineering? They know about these particular things. So the photo, color photo, and mark sheet information and marks information. So these informations is required. So that is nothing but these are the required information which need to be shared during bidding. So those information you can ask in the bidding guidance terms. So there will be some sequence, either you can attach the file in the sequence, so you can specify over here in bidding guidance terms. Okay, and similarly next to that we have vendor. So what does this vendor? So at here we will map our respective vendor for to participate in bidding. Okay, so let me select some random vendor. Okay, so I just selected one vendor so that I can showcase you quickly. Okay, I will add another vendor also. Okay, so at here I have added two vendors. Okay, so I will click on quotation and I will click on send. So once I click on send, a request for quotation will be case will be generated and a request will be sent to the external vendor. External vendor in the sense the vendor. So why we call it as external vendor in the RFQ? Why? Because these are the vendors. I mean, the vendor users are there, right? Vendor contact person is treated as external vendor. So for them, we will provide access to participate in bid in our portal, in Dynamics portal. I will cover the Dynamics portal today only in this session, as we have anyhow I am demonstrating in this particular instance, so we have already configured that, so I will demonstrate that also. Okay, so now you can see the status is changed to sent. So once the status is changed to sent, it means that it has been triggered to the external vendor. So you can see under quotation, you can see manage reply, so you can go to the manage reply Okay, so I'm doing the price information update inside the dynamics. Okay, inside the dynamics, in the sense the main our instance. Okay, so you can see edit RFQ reply. So I'm updating the price information for this particular vendor. Now you can see on top question and answer. So I have allowed question, ask question, and I have given the cutoff date as 3rd December. So we can vendor can ask the question, and the procurement user can answer those questions. Like for example, if I click question and answer, so at here you can ask. So like for example, what is your name? I'm just giving some random questions you can ask. Okay, so at here you can see it was asking there is a one vendor 002, what is your name? Okay, so this is the question which is asked by the one of the vendor. Now let me go back. Okay, let me go another step back. Okay, now this is my request for quotation page, right? I just opened that request for quotation. On top we have quotations, and you can see we have question and answer. So if I click on this particular question and answer under replies, okay, so at here I have a one question which was raised by the 6W agency. Okay, so he was asking what is my name. So you can send answer, click on send answer. Okay, I need to update the answer at here. Like for example, I have answered as Gautam. Okay, you can click on send answer. And do you want to publish this particular selected answer? Yes. Now I have answered my name, and this answer will be published for all. In case if any other vendor asking the same question, so he can able to see this particular question. Okay, so it will be avoided to see that particular repeated question. It will be avoided. Like for example, now if I go to the manage reply, okay, and if I go to the edit RFQ replies, if I go to question and answer, you can see this is the question which was asked by the one of the vendor, and you can see the answer. Okay, so like that he can ask a number of questions if to clarify his doubt, so we can clarify from here. Okay, so you can see these are the information which is populating in the vendor to update the price information. Like you can see the expiry date of quotation. Okay, if I scroll down, so this is the default description which we have updated in the quotation. Okay, if I scroll down, so we have another questionnaires. So I will explain how we can update these questionnaires. So what does this questionnaires and this question and answer? So what is the difference between these two? Okay, if vendor have any query, and if we want, is I'm going little bit fast. Why? Because this is the already discussed session only, so I'm just covering in a, hello, I'm going fast, or why? Because we have already covered this part in previous session, so I just want to go very little bit speed level so that we can see the external vendor portal, that is vendor collaboration portal. Okay, so I just updated the price info. So at here you can see, so what is difference between this question and answer and this questionnaires? Okay, so the main difference is over here. This question and answer is related to vendor can ask the question during the bidding process if to clarify his queries. And what does this questionnaire refers for? This questionnaire refers for, like for example, when you are participating in the bidding, okay, the procurement user can ask some set of questions need to be filled up, okay. So we can create our own questionnaire sets, either it may be a multiple choice, either it may be a text field. So he can update those fields, okay. I will show you how to create these questionnaires, okay. If I scroll down, so we have the terms of payment, etc. information and the price information. So let me update the price information, and he will click on submit. Now let me go to the another user, I mean another vendor, okay, that is 242. If I go to the edit RFQ lines, if I click on OK, okay, let me click on question and answers. So this is a question which was raised by the another vendor, and you can able to view those questions as this is the centralized form for the all the vendors, okay. To avoid the duplicate questions, for that purpose it is visibling over here, okay. So that is the difference. So let me update the price information for this particular vendor also, and I have submitted it. Okay, now I need to you can see if I save this particular record, and if I save this particular record, you can see there is a workflow, okay. This workflow is fully customized. In the RFQ stage we don't have workflow in the standard, okay. So this is the customized workflow for your information. So if I click on submit, you can see what error it give. Kindly update the bid score, okay. So what bid score already I have informed on, based on the scoring criteria we need to update the scores for this particular vendor. So until that we cannot submit to the workflow. So this is another validation point which we have done it for this particular customer, okay. So for that let me go to the scoring criteria. So you can design your own scoring criteria, or else you can copy from the template. So when I click on copy from copy criteria, so already I have 3 different template which is available, so I can utilize any one. Like for example RFP IT. If I click on OK, so this is my scoring criteria. So if you want to create your own scoring criteria for this particular requisition, you can create. Like for example, I am clicking on like cost, so I am giving range as 10 to 20, 0 to 20. Approach, reference, okay. So at here I have given some okay, let me make 60, okay. So at here I have prepared my own scoring criteria, and I have clicked on save, and I will click on back. Now again I will go back to the managed reply, okay. So I have selected one of the request for quotation sub case header. So at here I have the bid score, so let me update the score. So I just given some random score, okay. Okay, so I have updated the score information. I have clicked on save. Now if I go back to the workflow, submit, it has been submitted to the workflow. The second one you can leave it, it's a red color one, has that is for email notification sent. So there is some issues are there which my technical team is working on it, okay. So let me approve the workflow. So in this particular workflow, we have a head of the department approval. Okay, for one legal entity, it's already done. Okay, for rest of the legal entity, I need to modify it. Okay, so I have the certain list of detail which I need to modify it. Okay, let me show you that also. Okay, so in RFQ workflow, I need to modify a couple of things. So which I have listed on the top, that in the RFQ workflow require changes in the respective legal entity. So these are the persons will be approved in these legal entities. Okay, so currently I have created for one legal entity, so they are around 1 2 3 4. Rest of the 4 legal entity, I need to modify the RFQ workflow, which is not done yet, so it will be done. Okay, so now you can see both the status has been changed to received. Now I have already submitted to the workflow and it has been approved. Okay, so if I refresh this particular page, okay, if I go to the quotation, now you can see a new menu item has been added, that is compare reply. Okay, so we have managed reply, compare reply. So what is the difference between these two? Managed reply, you can able to view it all the individual sub cases, the price information and the scoring criteria. Okay, when you go to the compare reply, so it gives a look and feel where you can validate for all the vendor along with the price information and the scoring information in one place. Like for example, now you can see I just opened the compare reply. Okay, in compare reply you can see I have two vendors and two vendor header and line information which is populating along with the score information and net amount. Okay, so based on this particular form, the procurement user or head of the procurement, what he will do, he will analyze it, and whoever is giving very lesser quote, amount in lesser quote, and the rating is high, so based on that he will select that respective person. Like for example, the 4537 is very 225 is the quote which is lowest and the rating is very less. Either he can go with based on the total score or he can go with the amount whichever is less. So it depends on his decision, so which he need to go with. Like for example, if he is going with the 02, he will select the vendor that particular 02 and he will click on accept. So once he clicked on accept, so what it will do, the price information will be populated to PR. Okay, so there is acceptance of the 002 and there is the rejection of another vendor. So this is the core customization which involved in this particular screen. Okay, so in this particular request for quotation, I just want to show. Yeah, for this particular thing, we have updated the price information. I mean price information and score. So you can see the bid analysis from here. So this is the thing which we have developed, right, and I have shown you beginning of the session. So this is where he can compare the replies. Okay, and this is the individual score of the vendor. Okay, you can see these the criteria which we have given: approach, cost and reference. Okay, so basically this one and this one, these two reports will be sent an email to the respective vendor who is in workflow. So currently it's working, but the file is not opening, so my technical team is working on it. Okay, So this is one of the gap point which is still I need to showcase to the my client. Okay, so this is the one, and after that the process is same. You will complete your PR workflow, and it will be converted to PO, and the PO confirmation and receiving part. Okay, so far this is the end-to-end process. So anyhow, now we got one of the portal access instance, so let me show you that. Otherwise in standard we don't have, in demo instance we don't have the portal access. So let me show you that how we can do that. Let's imagine I'm creating a new user. Gautam, you need to be part of this particular training session. You are at home or you are somewhere else?
I'm available,
Okay,
Gautamish, please.
okay. So
Hmm.
I'm using your email ID as external vendor. Okay, so you should log in the portal, and how it look like I will demonstrate. Okay, so so what do you mean by portal over here? So for vendor, we have a vendor portal. So in this particular vendor portal, he can participate in bid, okay, and he can uh, print his PO confirmation, and he can raise the invoice. Okay, so let me show you. I have already access to the vendor portal, so let me show you that. Okay, so this is mine vendor portal, which I have already logged in as a vendor. Okay, now this is the home page of external vendor. So external vendor in the sense vendor user. Okay, so this is my vendor portal credential which I have logged in. Okay, so we have around 4 workspaces. Okay, if I minimize this particular screen, okay, if I go to home, so this is the procurement user, or this admin user, where I have different tiles, each tile related to different module. Okay, when you logged in with the vendor portal external user, okay, they have only 4 tiles. Each tile is known as the workspace, and vendor information workspace gives the information of the particular vendor, okay, which is linked against that particular user. He can able to view those information. Okay, vendor bidding is nothing but, as I said, that they will participate in bid process, and based on that they will submit from here. Okay, purchase order confirmation and invoicing. So these are the 4 tiles which will be displayed for the external vendor. Okay, now I will go back to the main. Okay, so let me go to the vendors accounts. I can navigate from the procurement sourcing, vendors, all vendor, or accounts payable, vendors, vendors. So these are the 2 different places where you can navigate to the respective vendor master. Okay, so this is one of the major master. Okay, you will click on new, and the vendor number will is auto populated. Okay, for uh, to provide access to the external portal, there are some prerequisite which you need to do it. So before creating, let me explain what we need to do it. Okay, so this is the main important thing which I missed, so let me explain that. Let me go back to the home page. Okay, so if you want to create vendor collaboration portal access, there are some certain rules which we need, certain things we need to pre-configure. The first thing is you need to navigate system administration. Okay, if you scroll down, you will find system administration as one of the module. Okay, under system administration workflows, you will have user workflow. Okay, you will click on this particular user workflow. Okay, so you will add vendor user request, okay, and vendor inactivate user request. Okay, so these are the workflows which you will add it, these two, the second and third. Okay, once these 2 workflows you have added, the next important thing is you will go back to system administration, security, we have external role. Okay, in external role, okay, you will add, one is vendor contact information, vendor admin, and vendor prospect. Okay, you will add these roles. Okay, after adding these three roles, this is the second thing which you need to map. And the third thing, you will navigate to the procurement sourcing. Okay, under procurement sourcing, under setup, we have vendor collaboration. Okay, information of vendor invoice, recording of POs. So at here you will mention this information, like by accepting this particular PO, we will found like that you will update. Okay, once you have updated for the accept, reject, accepted with changes, this is the third thing which you will update. After that, the fourth one is you will go to the again procurement sourcing. Okay, purchase order for confirmation. So this is confirm accept purchase order from external vendor. So this is a one of the bad job which you will make it as enable. Okay, in recurring set you will make it as batch processing as yes. In recurrence you will mention as no end date, and you will click on OK, and you will click on OK. So you will set this particular batch job. Once these four steps, first one is user workflow, second one is roles, third one is accepting information, information for vendor responding PO, fourth one is batch job. So these are the core four things which you need to enable it. Okay, so after these four steps, now here we come with the fifth step, creation of vendor. Okay, either it may be a creation of vendor or you are adding the contact information for the existing. So what I am doing, I am creating directly so that you can know how we can create the vendor. Okay, so for that I will go to the accounts payable, all vendor. Any doubt so far for this particular process? So there are around four major configuration which need to be done. One is the user workflows. For adding new user, modifying new user, will be one workflow, and inactivate user, that is another workflow. Okay, these two workflows you will add it. Second thing is external user role. Third thing is you will PO response, which you will update. Fourth thing is there will be a batch job for auto confirmation. So these are the four major steps. So once these four steps has been completed, now we will go for the fifth step, creation of vendor. Either we can add this particular user information for the existing one also, but I am creating new as you want to know how to create the vendor also. Any doubt so far? These four steps? Okay. So at here I am creating new. Okay, so when I click on new, so at here you can see there are a couple of fields with asterisk symbol and red highlighted in red color box. So it, which means these are the fields are mandatory. Okay, so until without updating this information, you cannot close this particular form and you cannot click on back. Like for example, if I click on back, you can see it will throw error that these are the information which you need to update it. Okay, let's imagine. So at here you can see when I update name is required, so I will update name as so when I type the keyword, you can see it's searching for the particular name is already available in different organization or not. Okay, if it is available, we can copy it. Okay, so I just updated some random name over here. Okay, so once you have added the name, my next major field is group. Okay, so at here I am selecting some group. Okay, and you can see the TRN number and trade license number. Okay, as per standard, for creation of vendor, the mandatory field is vendor group must and should be updated. Okay, vendor group and name. When you come to this particular instance, so we have TRN number and trade license number which required to update. So currently I am updating as dot, so that we can update from the portal to demonstrate. Okay, so I just updated as dot and I have clicked on save. So once I clicked on save, a auto number sequence will be generated, that is 576, and this is the company information. Okay, so the next part is, you can see at here we have a different session called vendor collaboration. Okay, at here vendor collaboration is nothing but vendor portal. So at here you will make it as active PO is auto confirm. So you will mark this particular you will select this particular option. So we have three different options, right? One is not active. Not active in the sense even you cannot I mean the contact information, whoever the respective person are there, he will not have access to the vendor portal. Okay, vendor collaboration portal. Active PO is not confirmed. What does it mean? Means when you send for the confirmation purchase order and he accept it, and it will not auto confirmed. Okay, and the third option is PO is auto confirmed. Okay, when the external vendor accept the PO, the purchase order is auto confirmed. So we have selected the third option. In fourth step we have run one batch, right? That batch related to this particular step. Okay, if you select this particular auto confirmation, so it will check the for this kind of vendor, if it is external vendor is accepted, this will be auto converted to confirmed state. Okay, so that is the difference. Now once this is added, auto confirmed, you will go to the contact information. In contact information you will click on add, and you will give the contact details. Like for example, I have given as Gautam, email address. So at here I am providing his email ID. Okay, I will make it as primary. Now at here I have added his email address. With this it will not fulfill the vendor collaboration portal access. So for that we need to add onboard the external vendor as a user. Okay, for that he will go to the vendor. You can see we have a contact, and we will go to the view contact. So when we click on view contact, so at here no information is there. So that is the different that is inside the vendor master you are updating the information. Now at here we are creating the external vendor contact information. For that you will click on new. Okay, so once you click on new, a new create contact information screen will be applied. So like for example, at here I am updating his first name as MG. Okay, and I have updated the first name and last name, and if I scroll down you can see his email ID. So I will provide the email ID. And I will click on save. So once I clicked on save, a record will be created with contact ID. Okay, and you can see it is inactive, vendor collaboration is no. Okay, so when I make allow access to vendor collaboration, once I click on this particular form, so it will ask, do you want to create vendor collaboration user request for this particular contact? Yes. Now this is the form which will be open, provision of vendor user. So at here you will provide the justification, it is new user. Okay, and this checkbox will be checked, and at here you will assign the role. Okay, at here you can see manage vendor contact. and you will click on submit. Okay, so once you clicked on submit, a user now it has been submitted to the user request. Okay, you can see under request we have vendor collaboration user request. If you click on this particular vendor collaboration user request, so this is the user ID which we have added, and it is in workflow. You can see it has been submitted. So if I click on this particular user request, so it will go for certain approval with inside the IT department. Okay, so at here IT in the sense have kept my ID for the approval. So let me quickly approve. So this is the first step where the procurement vendor account manager will approve it. Okay, so once the vendor account manager approve, it will be assigned to the IT department head, where he will cross check whether the user has been created or not. Okay, now you can see, let me go to the workflow. There more two more approvals are there. Let me quickly complete that. Okay, now this is the step where it will send a business user email invitation. So currently it is disabled over here, so I will send the invitation at the end of this particular approval. So I am just quickly stating as complete.
For small scale, I mean small and medium scale industry, they don't have that much vendor portals. Mostly they will go with the manual thing. They will create their own bidding. I mean, they will update on behalf of vendor. Why? Because it's a small organizations, right? So if you see the big organizations like uh, we have DRDO, right? DRDO, HAL, BEL, BHEL. So these are the big organization. So what they will do, they have these kind of portal, and the vendors will update these informations. Okay, so currently we are just providing access to the portal, so it's not completed yet. Once this workflow is completed, uh, usually a auto email will be triggered to the respective person who the email ID what we have given, right? For him, he will receive a email notification for the invitation to log in. Okay, first let me complete this, then I will show you. Okay, now you can see the status is changed to approved. So I'll do one thing. Now let me send the invitation manually. So for example, if the email invitation email is not sent, so you can send by manually by go navigating to the system administration. Okay, under setup we have B2B integrate invitation configuration. So in this invitation configuration, so at here what we will do, we'll click on edit, and at here you will give the name. Okay, so at here you will give their email ID, and you will click on send invitation email and run this configurational test. So email will be triggered to them. Okay, now you can see invitation validation successfully and an email has been triggered. Gautam, you can share your screen. Gautam.
Let's go to I'm sharing screen now. Just a minute. Received another call. Okay, could you please guide me? You want me to open the email now?
Yes, open the Outlook email.
Hmm.
Share your screen. Gautam, share your screen.
Gautam M. Hyderabad Acts function.
Hello. అవునా సరే నీ ఈ సార్ నీ అవుట్లుక్ ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి పాస్వర్డ్ నాకు వాట్సాప్ ఓకే అప్రూవ్ చేయ ఇండికేటర్లో గ్లోబల్ ఐటీఎస్ One minute, let me log in. Hello. Okay, I've shared my screen. Hope you are able to see it. Okay, so I just logged in the Gautam's another Gautam Outlook. Okay, so this is the email invitation which he will receive. Okay, you can see there is a Microsoft invitation. Okay, he will click on this particular invitation, and at here he will have the acceptance and the link. So once he click on accept invitation, okay, a link will be open. Okay, uh, and he will click on accept. You can see it has been logged in with the admin again. The reason behind is in this particular incognito mode, I have already logged in with the admin, so it was taking the admin link again. So what I will do, I will open another incognito mode, new private window, and at here I will start with Alwaha UAT. See, it's speaking the same. So what I need to do, I need to take some another browser. So in this particular browser, let me add okay, so at here use another ID. So I'm just logging with his ID. Okay, and next, so at here I will update the passwords, the same password what his email ID have. Okay, and you will click on sign in. Okay, so once he clicked on sign in, so this is the information, so this is the portal how he will see it. And at here the first thing what he will do, he will go to the vendor information. Okay, so in vendor information, so this is the vendor account number which is mapped against his contact. Okay, so you will have individual legal entity, so this is the legal entity list. Okay, so in whichever the legal entity you are registered, so in that particular legal entity you will have access those vendor information. Okay, now at here you can see the in the vendor information, so this is the vendor account number which is mapped, and this is the contact information, and this is the vendor detail. In vendor detail you can see very less. For more details you can click on more detail and click on gender, so it will display all the full information. So at here what you will do, you will click on edit. Okay, so you will update the known as, you will just copy the same name and you will keep it as known as. Okay, and you will specify currency, in which currency you usually trade. You can update the currency, like for example I will trade in euro, so you can update euro. Okay, and you will update the TRN number. TRN number in the sense trade tax registration number. Okay, so you will update the tax registration number. In UAE it's 15 characters, it's alphanumeric. So I just updated some random TRN number, And trade license number, this is nothing but the license number or license certificate number. Even in India we have the GSTN number. You will update the GSTN number in TRN number, and other than that you have the certification number, which license for the business. So you will update the trade license number over here. Like for example, I have just given some random number. Okay, so these information. Other than that, if you go to the address, so we have the address tab where you will add in detail over here. Like for example, if I'm adding a new address, so I will click on new, I mean the add, and you will update the same company name as a description, like okay. And the purpose, so we have a different type of purpose for this particular address. Like for example, there are some addresses which is only for the warehouse, some for only for the delivery, and some for business, and some for the it's just a head office company. So based on which address you want to use the same address, so you can update over here. Like for example, currently I have selected business only. Okay, if I scroll down the country region, so you will select the country region belongs to which country. Like for example, I have selected as UAE. Okay, and you can specify the address in detail, like for example where you are staying, like street number, flat number, floor, etc. So you can update in this address field. Like for example, I am just updating some address like K12 building number 5122, Sharjah. I just updated some random address. So you can update the city, state, code, and country. These are optional. If it is mandatory, then the asterisk symbol will be populated. Okay, you will click on OK. So the address information will be added over here. So the next tab is contact information. So already the contact has been added. So if you want to add any other contact, you can add. Categories, you can leave it blank. These categories we will map inside the dynamics. I mean inside the procurement, user will add the category under which category this particular vendor is used for. Okay, so currently it is blank, so you can keep it as similarly as blank or like that. The next one is sales tax ID. So this is also, you can leave it as blank. And certification, so at here you will add new, and you will select the certification type as, for example, TRN. So you will give the trade license number, and certified organization will be, you can type it like for example FT for MG hectare company, certified for this particular organization. Okay, and you will have the tax registration number, right? So you will update the tax registration number and the certification from when it start. So you will give the certification date, expiry date, etc. Like for example, I am giving some certification date as this, November 1st, effective from also November 1st, and ends on 2025. So these are the these is the complete information which a vendor is updating, okay, on behalf of us. Like now at here I have added the information, so I have clicked on save. Now you can see the document has been enabled. I will click on document, and you can add the files. Okay, so I just added some random image, or you can add the notes. So whatever you can add, you can add it. Okay, so currently I'm adding some random image. So you can see there are some file type which is restricted. So my file type is JFLT, so that was the reason it was not uploading. So let me attach some image PDF file. Now you can see a PDF file has been attached. So if I enable this preview, you can able to view the PDF file. Okay, now if I click on save, you can come back. Now you can see the attachment is yes, previously it is no. So like that you can add the certification and similarly the vendor bank information. Okay, so if you click on add and you need to provide the bank account number. So this bank account number is nothing but the your own number sequence which you are creating for that. Okay, like for example, I'm giving the bank BA001. Okay, so there is the random manual number sequence which I am providing for this particular vendor. For this particular vendor may have 15 banks, so he can update those 15 bank information like this. And the bank name you can update any bank name, like for example I'm updating FAB bank. Okay, and the bank account number, so you will update the bank account number, routing number, IBAN number is nothing but the international bank accounting number. Okay, and shift code and from when it is effective, so these information. Okay, so my shift code will be FABAED. Okay, and I can take rest of the numbers. So at here I just generated some IBAN number and this is my account number. Okay, so at here I have updated some random IBAN number, shift code, routing number, etc. Okay, and there is no expiry date for this particular bank until we close the bank account. Okay, until the vendor bank account is closed, we will not update the expiry date. Okay, and you will click on OK. So a record will be created over here. Okay, and you will click on save. So once you click on save, and these information will be populated as a change request. The change request in the sense the vendor has been added and it has been submitted to the workflow. Okay, now let me now open our procurement user side. Now I'm going back to the procurement user side, that is in my which I have opened over here. Okay, users. So I'm going to the home. Okay, let me go to the all vendors. Okay, now let me filter account number with Z2A. I'm just sorted with Z2A. So this is the vendor account which we have created now. Okay, so I just open this particular vendor and now you can see the TRN number, trade license number. Initially when we created, I have kept dot and this information we have updated in the portal. I mean the another Gautam has been updated in his portal, so those information is auto populated. Address, this information is also updated by Gautam in the portal. It has been updated. If I scroll down, we have updated currency in the portal. You can see the currency information is updated. Okay, if I click on this particular vendor tab and if I click on bank account, okay, you can see the bank account information is populating over here and you can see the random detail what I have updated in the portal side. Those information is updated. Okay, if I go back and if I go back to the vendor and we have certifications, right? If I click on certification, You can see this is the TRN number information which I have updated. Okay, you can see there is a attachment. So if I click on this particular attachment pin, and this is the document which we have attached. Okay, so whatever information we have added in the portal side by the external by Gautam, those information is populated. So this is the first tile of the vendor portal, adding vendor information. So is there any doubt? So if there is no doubt, then I will shift to the next tile, that is vendor bid. So for that, what I will do, let me create one quickly, one request for quotation. Okay, I have one draft. Let utilize this. Okay, so I have one request for quotation which is in draft. Okay, so which is created and there is no price information is updated. So let me go to the header. Okay, so let me give the expiration date as 1st December. Okay, and let me select over here the vendor. So I am selecting MG. So when I type MG, you can see the vendor is auto filtered. Okay, and you can select the contact information. Okay, I will add another person, like, so another vendor I am adding as Chance Paris. Okay, so I have added these two vendor and I am requesting for the quotation. Okay, by clicking on send process, a request will be raised for these two vendor. Okay, now I have raised the request for quotation. Now this has been sent. Okay, now I am going back to the vendor collaboration portal. Okay, so for that, so I have logged in over here with Gautam Access. So let me go back to the home page. Okay, so in this portal, so first tile we have seen the vendor information and we have updated the information, and this information is populating in the our procurement side also. The next one is vendor bidding. So vendor bidding, so now the procurement user has requested some bidding information, so he invited us to participate in bid. So what he will do, the external user, I mean the external user in the sense the vendor, what he will do, he will go to the portal and he will click on vendor bidding. Okay, in vendor bidding, when he clicked on vendor bidding, so at here we have 5 different tiles. Okay, one is new bid invitation, return bid, bid in progress, awarded bid, lost bid. Okay, that is in summary level. In bid level we have 4. Okay, so what does the summary level do? Okay, so let me now move to another portal which from my own ID. Okay, from my ID. Okay, so which I have logged in different tab. Okay, so at here if I go to the vendor bidding, so I have different tiles. Okay, you can see there are some information, some number has been updating. In new bid invitation is nothing but when when a procurement user requests to participate in bid, those information will come under new bid invitation. Okay, the return bid, like for example there are some bid which procurement user has request to modify or to update something. Okay, bid in progress is nothing but when you any new bid invitation, like for example I have one new bid invitation which the procurement user has sent it. Okay, so if I open this particular bid invitation, you can see on top I have bid and decline. So if I click on bid, it means that I'm participating in this particular bidding process. Decline, you have rejected this particular bidding invitation. Let's imagine I have accepted this particular bid. So when I click on bid, okay, now you can see I have different option, submit and decline. Okay, if I go back, now this particular bid status will be changed to the bid in progress. Now you can see previously there is new bid invitation. Now when I click on bid, it changed that bid in progress status. Okay, and awarded bid and lost bid. So what do you mean by these two? When we say awarded bid, like for example, if the vendor accepted and it is awarded to us, okay, the price information. Like for example, if there are some bid which we have lost it, so those information it's showing over here. So awarded bid is nothing but you have received the contract and based on the contract you will start the work. Okay, the same thing over here. In awarded bid, you based on that you will issue the purchase order, and I mean in that particular purchase order you will issue the goods and services. Okay, so this is the summary level. So even when you click on this particular summary level, like for example, if I click on bid in progress, so it will show me what are the bids in progress. Okay, so it's auto filtered, no need to filter over here. So again in the bids tab we have 4 different tabs like new bid invitation, return bid, bid in progress, submitted bids. Okay, so when we say new bid invitation, which we have already clicked on it and we have clicked on bid process, so those it will be shown over here. Okay, which is nothing but your bid in progress and new bid invitation will be shown on bid 1. Okay, and return bid has in summary level we have discussed, like for example if any return came from the procurement user, so it will be displayed in a return bid. Bid in progress, which we are updating the information. Submitted bid, which we have submitted successfully. Like for example in bid in progress I have one bid, right? So if I update the price information, like for example I have updated the price information as 1000. Okay, and if I click on submit, so it will move from the bid in progress to the submitted bid. Okay, so if I click on submit, yes, now it is submitting it. Okay, it has been submitted. Now if I go to the submitted bid, if I refresh this particular page, now you can see it has been submitted. Okay, so let me go to the another tab. Do you feel any confusion over here? Why? Because the bidding screen is same as how you are updating inside the Dynamics. When you click on edit RFQ reply, the view is same. Okay, if you have any doubt in this particular point, you can raise it. I will definitely answer. Is there any questions? Okay.
No, Mahesh.
So this is another portal which was logged in with another Gautam. Okay, you can see the vendor information. This vendor information is MG Hector Company LLC. Okay, in new bid invitation you can see one particular record which is not yet submitted. Okay, so what the vendor will do, he will click on new bid invitation. Okay, and he will click on bid. If he have any question which he need to ask, at here another question and answer will be there. He will click on question and answer and he will ask the questions. Okay, so for this particular RFQ there is no question and answer is there. Okay, if I scroll down, so these he will update the price information, and if we have okay, so so in another portal, okay, where my vendor is MG Hector. So at here I just clicked on this request for quotation and I have clicked on bid. Okay, so once I have clicked on bid, so if I scroll down I can see all the necessary information what I need to update, and at here I will update the unit price. Like for example 900 is my unit price, so I will update. If we want to attach any document, he will click on this bid attachment. Okay, and he will add the files. So in any form, if you go and see, we have certain places where you can update the uh, attachments. Okay, so if you open any particular form, you will have over here a pin with attachment pin symbol inside the dynamics, and if you go with the vendor portal side, you may have these kind of bid attachments. Okay, like here, bid attachments, RFQ attachments. So these two attachments will be there shown for the vendor. If you go inside the procurement user access, so you will find over here a attachment pin symbol. I will show you that attachment pin symbol. Okay, so once this bid has been submitted successfully, now I will go to the procurement user access role. Okay, which is nothing but our core admin one. Okay, so there is a third tab which is logged in with the admin. So if I refresh this particular page, now you can see the status has been changed to received and the workflow is enabled. Now let me go to the quotation, manage reply. Okay, so for one we have bid attachments, like for example that is Gautam has attached some bid attachments, so you can click on bid attachment. So this is the file which Gautam has been attached, so you can able to view it. Okay, so there is a preview, you can preview this particular file, or if you want to open the file you can click on open, so it will be open, a file will be downloaded. Okay, and you can review that particular file. Like for example now I just open this particular file, so you can able to review this particular file. Okay, so in that way you can view the attachment, and now you can see there is a attachment pin symbol. So this is the attachment pin, currently it is 0. So if you navigate any particular form, you will have this attachment pin symbol, and if you click that particular attachment pin symbol, and you can add the files. Okay, okay, so now so this is the bidding process, how the external vendor will participate in bid. So do you have any doubt in this particular bidding tile? So far we have covered vendor information and bidding tile. Okay, if no question is there, then I will move to the next part, that is purchase order confirmation. Okay, so the next part is purchase order confirmation. So what we will do in the purchase order confirmation, so what role will have the external vendor in the purchase order confirmation. Okay, so for that let me go to the procurement side. Okay, that is my admin role. Okay, I will click home page. So before that let me disable the workflow, otherwise email will be triggered to the respective user for approval. Okay, so let me go to the workflow, sorry, procurement sourcing parameter. Okay, so this is the parameter which we can disable it for the PO workflow. You can see the active change management, currently it is no. If it is yes, it means the workflow will be available. If it is no, the workflow will be disabled. So this is the common part to enable or disable the workflow. Okay, now I will go to the accounts payable, purchase order, or purchase order. Okay, so at here I am creating a new PO. So let me select vendor as MG Hector. Okay, and if I scroll down, let me update the site. Okay, so you can see in administration we have buyer group and requester. So these are the optional. Like for example, if we are creating direct PO instead of RFQ and instead of going with PR and RFQ process, if you want to create direct PO, so you can select in this particular administration part who is your requester, I mean which department user is requesting. So you can select that particular department. Like for example, Lamia Sheikh is a user, she is a requester for this particular purchase order. So I will select her name under requester. And which buyer group, so you can select the buyer group also. You can create the buyer group in the sense who is the preparer, you can, I mean who is creating this particular purchase order, you can create as a group. Okay, so after that you will click on OK. So once you click on OK, your purchase order will be created. Okay, and now you can see the status as approved. Okay, so at here you will select the procurement category as this is the completely service based industry. So let me select some company secretarial fee. Okay, and you will update the quantity, unit price. Like for example, I am updating unit price as 500. Okay, and you will save it. Now you can see there is a currency field which is populating as blank. The reason behind is we have done some customization as shift from. Okay, now you can see this is the address 41005. Let me duplicate this tab. Okay, now let me open this particular vendor. You can see this currency field is blank. The reason why this currency field is blank, this is the custom currency field, and these three are custom fields. Okay, ship from and PO description, header description, and currency. These three are custom field. Based on this ship from, at your ship from, maybe you may have multiple addresses of that particular vendor. Okay, so from which address you are receiving the good, so you will select from this ship from. Okay, now in this particular vendor master, so this is the address, right? So you will go to the more option, advanced. Okay, in this particular advanced field you can see there is a setup under the general tab. You will have sales tax group and as well as currency. Okay, so at here you will select the sales tax group as BDOM and currency as okay, and you will click on save. Now if I go to this particular page and if I refresh, it's not updated, right? So you will select from this particular screen and it will be updated. Okay, in case if you want to modify the currency, like for example instead of euro, if they have built in AED, you will select the currency as AED. Okay, and you will click on save. So once you click on save, what it will do, 1 minute, let me save this record first. Yeah, okay. So let me add the line category. Water and electricity. Okay, so at here I have updated number of quantity and unit price as 1, and this is my net amount. So at here, instead of quantity, I am using my amount in the quantity side. Okay, and unit price as mentioned as 1, so I can utilize it. So I have just saved the record. Okay, now once I have saved the record, okay, so currently there is no PO workflow. In case if this PO workflow is there, so you will submit to the purchase order workflow, and once it come to the approved state, okay, now the status is approved, you will go to the purchase. Okay, in purchase, if you scroll this scroller to your right side, you will have vendor collaboration. Okay, so this is the vendor collaboration part, and at here you will click on send for confirmation. So once you click send for confirmation, okay, a request will be sent to the vendor to kindly review this purchase order and accept it. Okay, like for example, at here I am clicking on OK. Now this particular purchase order I have sent to the external vendor for review. So at here my external vendor, who is MG Hector Company LLC. So the when I say external vendor, in the sense it means the vendor user. Okay, so now this request has been sent to the external vendor. Okay, now what external vendor will do, he will come back to the portal side. So currently I am navigating to the vendor portal. So this is vendor name is MG Hector. You can see the MG Hector Company LLC in vendor information. So I am going to the home screen. Now this is the tile which we are discussing, that is purchase order confirmation. So once I click on this purchase order confirmation, okay, now you can see there is a 3 different tile. One is purchase order for review, awaiting for customer action, auto open confirm purchase order. So these are the 3 tabs which will be available. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so you can see at here there will be a one record will be created, which is review from which we need to review it. So you will click on this particular purchase order number. Okay, this is the information which will be open for review. Okay, so if you scroll down, so this is the line information. So this is the electricity and water charges. Okay, which was requested today, and this is the quantity, and this is the unit price, and this is the net amount. So once he reviewed this necessary information, if he want to add any note and attachment, he can click on note and attachment in the line level as well as in the header level. Okay, this is the line level note and attachment, this is the header level note and attachment. Okay, so once this is done, if he want to add any attachment, he will attach and he will click on accept. So once he clicked on accept, okay, at here I am clicking on accept. So you can provide the comment, and you remember the second step where I have shown the PO responding email. There will be a drop down at the end. So by accepting this purchase order confirmation, you are agreed the terms and condition found as per the respective legal entity website, and you will soon receive the purchase order status as confirmed and confirm order. Okay, so this is the information which will be populated. So this is the second step during the configuration which I have set it. Like for example, the first step is the user workflow. Second step is the rules. Third step is this is the one which we are updated in the procurement sourcing under the setup vendor collaboration. We have one option where we need to update the accept, reject, suggest changes, accept with changes. So these are the three part where we have updated. Okay, so once we click on OK, so the vendor part has been completed. He accept the purchase order. Now if I go back to the procurement side, okay, that is the admin side. If I refresh this particular page, currently it is in external review. I mean the vendor is reviewing this particular purchase order. Now he accepted it. So let me refresh the page. So the status of this external review will change to confirmed. So there will be a batch job, as I said that there will be a batch job which will run in the backend to change this particular external review status from accepted to confirm. It take little bit time. Why? Because the batch is scheduled for every 10 minutes, I think. We can see the batch status. For that you can, let me open another tab. Yeah, so I will go back to the home. Okay, so at here I will navigate to the system administration. Okay, we have, let me collapse all, inquiries, batch job. So at here you can filter with the name as confirm. So at here you can see the status of which is in awaiting state. You can see one is waiting, another one is executing. So there are two jobs which were added. So one is executing, another one is awaiting. So let's see the status. This job recurrence is 10. This one recurrence is 5. So there are two jobs, one is 10, another one is 5. Let me delete one, let me keep it as 5. Okay, we cannot delete it, the executing jobs. Okay, so let me refresh. Okay, so the job is not yet working yet, so meanwhile we can confirm. So you can manually do the confirmation by clicking this particular action, confirm. So even you can review this whether it is accepted or not. You can review this particular status. We have one different workspace. For that you can navigate to the procurement sourcing. Okay, in procurement sourcing module workspace, we have one workspace called as purchase order preparation. So if you open this particular purchase order preparation, okay, so now you can see we have a different tab over here, I mean different tiles. All purchase order approved without confirmation, assigned to me, or draft and review, or approved. Okay, so at here also you can see the external review action required. So when you click on this external review action, so these are the two which are external review action, and you can see which is accepted. So the accepted one, you can click at here confirm. So once you click at here confirm, a confirmation report will be generated and it will be sent. Okay, now you can see at here the confirm action of this particular purchase order, it's not updated. You can see an error occurs during the update. Okay, if you expand this drop down, okay, so there is a posting, there is a message detail. If you click on this particular message detail, so what at here it's stating as, you need to select the value department in the field of the combination. Okay, so what it means, this particular error message, if I open this particular purchase order 401, okay, if I go to the header page, header view, if I scroll down, I have a financial dimension tab. Okay, you can see there is a department. This particular department field, you can see you must select a value in the department field in the combination of the following dimension. So this is the financial dimension tab. So at here in the department field, I didn't select anything, so that was the reason it's throw the error. So in header level, I'm updating the department field so that it's asked me to update the same thing in the line level. If I mark this particular toggle as yes, and if I click on OK, so now what will happen when I have updated it in the header level? So now when I press this particular as OK, now the line level also it has been updated. Okay, now if I do the confirmed action, now the purchase order will be confirmed. Okay, now you can see the PO operation has been completed. If I refresh this particular page, now you can see the purchase order confirmation journal has been created. Okay, now let me go back to the portal. Okay, so this is the vendor portal, right? So let me go back to the home. If I open the purchase order confirmation, if I refresh this particular page, you can see from it showing as at in review as one, but it's in confirmed purchase order. Okay, it's a refreshing issue. Now you can see this is the purchase order which has been approved and confirmed. Okay, now he can able to print the purchase order confirmation from preview and print original preview. He can download the purchase order confirmed purchase order. Okay, so this is the third tile, that is purchase order confirmation. The last tile is PO invoice, where the external vendor will raise the invoice and he will submit to the workflow. Okay, so this is the purchase order confirmation report. If you see the trial instance report and this one, it's entirely different. This is the custom report as per the template shared by the respective customers. Okay, it's purely customer design. Okay, now let me go a step back. So this is the part of this confirmation tile. So the last tile which is pending in the portal is invoicing. Okay, so the vendor can raise the PO invoice on behalf of procurement user by clicking on the invoicing tab. Okay, so at here now you can see has Sri Lakshmi raised one question during the initial stage of this session, today's session. So when we use the two-way matching principle and three-way matching principle, okay, like for example, if it is a service-based company, they can use two-way matching principle by directly creating the invoice, okay, without the product receipt. Okay, like for example, if I want to create two-way matching principle based PO, then I need to update my policy according to two-way matching principle. Okay, and this is related to the specific industries which they follow two-way matching principles. Okay, there are some industries, like for example, if you see the manufacturing sector, they are definitely follow the three-way matching principle. If you see any food processing sector, they will follow three-way matching principle along with the quality test. Okay, so in that way it will work. Okay, now for example, now we are doing the three-way matching principle as the service item which we have created it for this particular client. Okay, now when I click on invoicing, okay, so at here when I click on new, so currently I'm at vendor portal side. If the vendor is raising the PO invoice, so what we need to do? Okay, so he will go to the invoicing. Okay, he will click on new. So once he click on new, it will display the purchase order against the particular vendor which is created along with the status. Okay, so at here it should be received, but he is doing the invoice against this particular purchase order, but the procurement user didn't update the product receipt. So then also he can raise the PO invoice by selecting that particular record, and he will give the invoice number. Okay, so I have given some random invoice number, invoice date, and description is optional, and he will click on create invoice. So at here now invoice will be created. Okay, let me 1 minute, it's getting generated. Okay, now you can see the invoice has been created over here. Okay, and if I go to the workflow, I can submit it. But if I go, we have done one validation over here in the submission. If there is no attachment, it will not submit to the workflow. Okay, so that was the reason. Let me attach a file or note. So note in the sense you can add any text, any in detail information over here. Okay, so currently I just added note and I'm submitting to the workflow. Okay, so one at here also the per PO also PO invoice also there is a different workflow is there, so it's completely finance part. So now it has been submitted to the workflow. Now I'm going to the procurement side. Okay, procurement side in the sense the admin user side. Oh, sorry. Yeah, now I'm at in this particular purchase order, right? If I go to the invoice tab, if I refresh this particular screen, you can see I am able to view one pending invoice. Okay, if I open this particular pending invoice, edit. Okay, now you can see these are the information which was filled by the external vendor from his portal, like invoice number, date, and this is the amount. I mean by default he picked it from the order, purchase order. Okay, and invoice date, everything is populating. Now if I go a step back, now he didn't need the product receipt. Okay, now he will go to the receive tab, the procurement user, he will generate the product receipt. Okay, and he will give the product receipt number, some random number I am giving over here, and he will click on OK. Now he has done based on the generated invoice by the submitted by the external by the external vendor. Based on that we are creating the product receipt, and now we are doing the invoice. Sometimes you may receive product receipt late and you are doing the invoice early, so in that case you will create like that. Okay, it's very rare case you will do in that way. Now you will click on edit of this particular pending invoice. Okay, now you can see the match status is failed. The reason behind is when it is a three-way matching principle, it will check with your purchase order, product receipt, and invoice, right? So at here the matching principle is getting failed because it was checking only with the product receipt. Why? Because the product receipt was not there initially when we create this particular invoice. The external vendor has created this particular invoice, product receipt was not there, right? So now what we will do, we will go to the match product receipt. Okay, we will select this particular line as check and we will click on OK. Now you see the match status will change to pass. Okay, and all the information is updated. as same. Okay, so there is one I symbol over here in budget check. We will we will discuss more about this particular part in finance session. Okay, now let me approve this particular workflow. Let me quickly complete it. Basically this is completely finance part, PO invoice, just to showcase the vendor portal part. So I'm just generated that one. So I just approved the purchase order invoice. So once it is approved, this post button will be enabled and we will post it. So when I'm demonstrating in the demo instant, there is no workflow, so directly we are posting the invoice. Okay. Okay, workflow has been completed. Now if I refresh this particular page, you can see the post button will be enabled. Okay, so once I click on post, you can post the invoice. Okay, now you can see the invoice has been posted. Okay, so let me conclude what we have discussed today. So I have shown the live instance where which I'm actively working on this particular project. Okay, where you will see complete end-to-end cycle of procure to pay, and where what are the custom fields we have done in this particular for this particular client. Okay, additional to that, we have seen the vendor collaboration portal. This is the portal where you will not get in detail information. You will get the blocks, but in detail training no one will provide. If you go with any training institute, no one will provide this kind of training. Okay, so I am providing to you, so it will be added to your advantage. So what are the there will be a 4 different tiles. One is the vendor information, bidding process, confirm, and invoice. So these are the 4 different workspaces which will be available for the external vendor, and we have gone through the each workspace. Okay, and in each case what we will update in the portal, and it will be reflected in the procurement side. So I have shown in this session. Okay, so let me conclude. So what are the 4 major important part which is required for the vendor collaboration portal configuration? One is the user workflow, which is available in the system administration, and the second one is the roles for the external vendor, and the third one is And third one is we will create the response for the external vendor portal. And the fourth one is batch job. For once it is accepted, it will be auto converted to the confirm state. And the fifth one, we will create the user, or if it is, if you are going, if you are creating the existing user against the existing vendor, so you need to make sure in vendor collaboration portal is approved PO or active approved PO or not, but that need to be set. Okay. And after that we have created the user request, and the user request flow will be done, and it will be created, a user will be added, and he will receive the invitation, and based on that particular invitation he will do the he can able to access the portal. So this is the end-to-end cycle of this one vendor cycle. So if you have any doubt in today's session, please let me know. It's a little bit confusion or a little bit fast I have done it. Please let me know if you have any doubt so that I can explain again. So no doubt?
No, Gautam.
No, Gautam.
We will practice.
We will practice. I will practice, and if I have any doubt, I'll reach out to you.
But in demo instance, I believe you will not able to access this vendor portal. Okay. The reason is there are some limitation in the demo instance.
Also, I think
this is customized, right? I mean, like it is user specific.
We have done some customization for this particular client, especially those reports and this kind of thing. But if you see in the standard one, it's very simpler and straightforward. Okay, but these kind of customization which may you have to do when you work for the some major big clients, big chain clients. Okay, so I just given some specific so that you can aware about this kind of customization. Okay, we can achieve through this kind of customization, we can fulfill the requirement. I hope you got me.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Why? Because if there is no feasibility is there, then without feasibility, Microsoft is now in cloud, right? So we can do n number of customizations, but Microsoft will not support customizations. Okay, even if you go with the like any I mean, if you face any major issue and you are not able to identify it, if you raise Microsoft support ticket, Microsoft simply say remove the customization and work it. So to satisfy the business requirement needs, we are doing those customizations. That's it.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay.
Mostly.
So how do we practice on this?
You can practice the like, for example, if you are doing the receiving part, I mean the vendor is participating bit, right? So we can do the same process inside the Dynamics, like inside the admin role only. Like for example, if you go to the procurement sourcing, request for quotation. Okay, so you have managed reply over here. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Just give me a minute. Sorry, like for example, now you have submitted, you have sent request to the external vendor to participate in bid. Okay, so in this case what you can do, you don't have access to the vendor portal in demo instance, so you can update directly from here by going to the edit RFQ reply. Okay, so currently this is already submitted, so that was the reason this edit RFQ reply is disabled. Okay.
Okay.
So when you click on this edit RFQ reply, so how the vendor portal, inside vendor portal, how the vendor will submit, the same view will be applied over here.
Okay.
Okay. So this is one.
Okay.
And second thing is vendor information update. So what are the information you are updating in the accounts payable, all vendor. Okay. So if you want to update any information, if you are updating over here, the same information will be flow in the portal side. Okay. Has like for example,
Okay.
I have created one vendor over here, like so this is the company which I have created, right? MG Hector Company LLC. So you can see I have updated this information when account, I mean contact information, address, okay, and currency, okay. And if you want to update the bank account, you can update the bank account information, certificate. So you can update these information directly over here. Okay. If you update these information, definitely if it is available over here, it will be flow over there. If you update there, those information flow over here. Okay. And similarly, confirmation. Okay. If you go to the purchase order confirmation, okay. So we are sending request for the external vendor, right? So at here in purchase tab, so only this particular external vendor action you will not do, but you can confirm the purchase order. It's not blocking you to confirm. Has this is the confirm action which you can do it if it is not confirmed.
Okay.
So once you click on confirm, it will be triggered to the external vendor. This PO has been confirmed. So this is the PO report. He can take directly from the portal.
Okay.
Okay. So other process you can do it.
Okay. Understood.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, please text in group so that we can update you. If you are if you are stuck in somewhere, we will definitely support you.
Actually, I didn't find any.
I didn't have any time to start preparing. I mean, like to try it. I'm still like working. Little bit busy with all the meetings and going on at my company now. So
If you see that it's common business nature, like if you create PO, purchase order, sales order, it's common in all the business legal entities. Any business, it's the same. But a little bit one or two terminologies may differ, but
mostly
our terminologies may differ, and slightly we may have any additional
Yeah,
options and all that.
So where you are working, Hima?
Right now,
I'm working as a compliance manager for IT company. But I had experience with the ERP. I didn't work on ERP, but like I used ERP. Like when I worked for JSW, Jindal. One of the sister companies of Jindal, they are using ERP at that time, like during 2021 to 22. At that time, like I had to check like what is ERP? Is there any like drawback? Is there any gaps between management and the ERP? Like
If you
that.
see any ERP, definitely some drawback will be there. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Still it is customizable.
Yeah,
That is the best thing. Like that's the reason. Like and also very cheap actually. Like I mean like. We want to update an SAP, like it costs a lot, but when it comes to ERP, really
See, if you compare with SAP,
Microsoft ERP.
if you compare with any other ERPs, major giants like Oracle, SAP, and PeopleSoft, okay, and we have IBM some different tool called Maximo, okay. So if you compare these all major giants, okay, the cheaper one is Microsoft Dynamics, and user friendly is Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, if you go with Oracle, the UI little bit congested one. If you see in Oracle, okay, not that much flexible to view properly. Okay, and if you see SAP, SAP you need to always remember the T code, transactional code.
Yeah, codes,
If you
yeah.
don't remember the
Only
transaction code, if
Microsoft
you
code.
process wrong transaction code, that's it, done. Okay,
Yeah.
so Dynamics have more flexibility. It has auto save option also.
Yeah, it is not that, I mean, like ERP, sorry, SAP, it is not that much of user friendly when compared with
Yes.
Dynamics actually. I work personally, like when I used to like, I mean like when I worked at Jindal, like they have SAP only. So I have to struggle a lot for remembering the codes because I don't do the audits frequently there. Mostly I do post audits. So it would be like 2 to 3 months in a year or like a week in a month
Yep,
like
yep.
that. So all the time I have to keep track of codes, like I have to remember them.
It's too difficult.
Yeah, yeah, it's too difficult. But on the other hand, this Dynamics, it's really easy. Everything like it is under the
Yeah,
menu,
yeah.
so you can just go there, search there.
See, if you learn this finance and operation, okay, so we have
Yeah,
another product called Business Central.
sorry,
Business
business.
Central. Okay.
Okay,
So this is also Microsoft product. Okay. But Business Central is
okay,
mainly for small and mid scale industry. Okay.
okay,
But if you learn this
okay,
finance and operation, the core conceptual and core process type is same in Business Central. Okay.
okay,
If you learn finance and operation
okay,
and if you become expert,
okay.
okay, hardly it will take
Mm-hmm.
for you 10 days to understand, to
Yeah,
work
I
on
mean,
it.
it seems like it would be like
Okay,
okay,
and it's very easy. Okay, and then now you can implement,
okay,
you can work on two ERP parallelly, Business Central and as well as this. Okay,
okay. It's like more or less like a tally.
not tally, it's similar like how you are doing in finance on operation, how the UI looks, same way. But in
Okay.
Business Central, what will happen means you will have limited modules. Business Central is mainly focused
Acha.
on finance, and they will have less production access, production module, and
Okay.
more retail. Okay. So
Acha.
they are
Okay.
focused on those kind of industries. Finance and operation,
Okay. Understood.
it's
Okay.
mainly focused on mid and large scale industries. Okay,
Yeah.
you may have big giant
Okay.
over here.
Yeah, this covers all angles. It's like looking at an organization in 3D
Yeah.
actually.
And we have so many to, and you can see Microsoft Excel. It's I mean Office 365. Office 365 in the sense where you will have complete Microsoft Office in the sense you will have
Okay.
Power Platform, you may have Power BI, you will have Office equipments like Excel, Word, PDF, Excel, Word, PPT, Microsoft Project,
Okay.
Microsoft Visio. These all are inbuilt license.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so Office
Okay.
365 is main, and in top of that you will have Azure platform. Okay, so what does this Azure platform it will do?
Okay.
It will interact in between you as a client, and Office 65 is based inside the Azure platform,
Okay.
and D365 is also based in Azure platform. Okay, so whatever your email IDs
Okay.
are there, okay, it's Office 65 email IDs which you will utilize. It is a
Okay.
single sign on which you will utilize for the same ID for your OneNote, your OneDrive, your D65, your Teams, your Outlook.
Okay.
The same email ID you will use and the same password. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
So
Okay.
whenever you
Yeah.
are trying to log in, so as a client, when you enter your email ID and password, so it will go through to the Azure Active Directory. In Azure Active Directory, your email ID and password will be stored, and it will validate. Once it is validated, it will be interacted with your finance and operation, or Outlook, or OneDrive, OneNote. So
Okay.
it will. So these the
Yeah,
three-way
everything is under
integration,
one roof.
I
Like,
mean
yeah.
3-tier architecture we call it as.
So Azure, like, is it a
Yeah,
Microsoft
it's a
product
Microsoft
or?
product.
Okay.
It's a
Interesting.
Microsoft product.
Actually, yeah, I should spend a lot. I need some more time to get onto this actually. So
Okay,
it's nice.
enjoy.
So how many more classes? Yeah, are left?
Actually, I'm taking. Actually, we can close by this time. We can close the complete SEM part, but I'm going slow by slow so that you should remember as we
Yeah,
have
it's
in
fine.
between 5 to 6
Yeah,
days gap. So I just want you guys to focus on it. Okay. So if I
yeah.
skip that particular part again, it will be problem for you. Yeah.
No, no rush actually. No rush
So
actually. You can go
you
at the
require
one.
to practice until you practice well. Okay, then you will
Yeah.
understand so that I can give some conceptual task by because you can see I have around now 14 points which I need to close in these 2 days. You can see this particular email. There
Oh,
are 14 feedback points which I have received during the training session.
okay.
So I need to update these 14 points. So in this one or two, it's already closed, and 3 4 will be closed easily. And a couple of point I
Okay.
require some technical support, so I need to reach my technical team. Okay. So
Okay.
this is a session which held on 2 days back, last Thursday. The same portal
Okay.
what I have demonstrated you, the same thing in today's session.
Okay.
So I need to send an email.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Notice. Okay.
So I need to send.
Yeah, it's fine. No rush actually. Like if you want to take if you want to skip a class, like it's
No,
fine.
no, no. I
And
actually see my agenda is only one. So if I want to provide training, I will provide 100%. If you want my training feedback, you can ask. I can give you my training.
no feedback not required.
I
Actually, see, we are actually I'm coming attending the class, so I understood like it's really nice actually. Like I attended another classes and I'm not satisfied there, but this is really nice actually. So I feel like Gautam like did a good job like finding you.
You know, Gautam worked along with me for 1 year, and now he become expert.
Oh,
He was
oh.
working under me from last 1 year.
Okay. Okay, that's nice.
Okay. Okay, then enjoy your weekend. We'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Say bye.